Adoba Multimedia Asempa FM, Abrokyire Nkomo so. We the first edition of European tour in Ukraine. And the Atuamo Hamburg and the Abrokyire Nkomo. Thank you, Desmond. Yamakwaba.
Yeah, na so yenia gise ne waba Hamburg our person here Nkomo. So yeah, that was it. Well, you friend me Desmond John Beddy. Me Freevota region, you friend me Krono, you friend Hikpo around Sogakope area. I've been here for some time. And training shed and yenti, ebe boss no kakra.
Openye Hamburg Krum has say, you say Ghana for the donor and Wahasea or Mobo Mobra on Peso de Beboa, Ghana mai. Oh, yeah, one of the pillars are community leaders are Yatiti Mudino, wo and the number 2. I'm no Abrokyire Nkomo, officer, you way, officer Yankasano, a day and a dedikai, yeah, Wahase.
Well, we do several things in this office. This is where Top Africa operates from. And by Germany in Hanover, there's something they all do, what we call shared office. So Top Africa waha, Akwaba Tos and so waha, and a family care and so waha. So at least we run the cost, we share the cost, so that when none of us will be burdened with the fiscal. So we do what we call office sharing. It's done by lawyers, it's done by medical practitioners. So oko bebia nyomo ye maono na musuma yebi.
Die obi ko bebia eyema na oswa yebi. Odi ka Top Africa. Top Africa no a radio station and that's a day.
Top Africa is a sort of what we call umbrella institution. In the first place, NGO. Yes. And at the below the NGO, Niyama Bibri, which the radio falls under it. The radio is actually a community radio meant to educate us. See, be information be a course what the German society no. Yes, so you bet to me, I give it further to our viewers, listeners, and the community. And below that, so we have a lot of projects we do. We do projects like leadership project, and this leadership project is all about how best to train our people to become leaders in society. And the previous years, the focus has been more on the youth, because I believe no been the opportunity to learn the skills of how a leader should conduct himself, how a leader should move in society. And I feel say yan to me anyano, or say a pekwan biswa, yebema youth no, to me anya the same thing. There is a program too we've been doing the past 6 years or so. It's called the Kids Radio. Kids Radio is just a radio program we do for the youth. And if you don't know critically, you might think it's just a radio program. No. It is a program you design how school corner. There's something on marks in a test. Your participation in the classroom contributes. So you need self-confidence to contribute in the classroom. So years back we noticed a money be need that self-confidence, no? And so we have to design a program that addresses this particular issue. Meaning, in Korani Baha, no musuya how to maneuver their way, how to conduct interviews, or no na there be obisa question. And to be say a change ni way of behaving in the classroom or be very active. And about 40% of what they do in the classroom, this presentation, how they participate is all part of the course discourse. So Ubensena Koraninya the self-confidence. So the major idea is the whole thing about self-confidence. So our children too can participate actively in the classroom project. Then we are also a sort of bridge between the mainstream German community and the various African, let's say, consulates, embassies, will be on the problem. or the brayer say problem woni, how best can you maybe mediate for us and solve our problems? These are some of the things that we do. And like Top Africa is also on the school pool. It's a Top Africa war. The Ministry of Education, we are in their data bank. And at any given time, so help be. If they want anyone in the community, they have a parents-teacher meeting. And the need, once a casa na difficult. And he say maybe Ethiopia need be. Omube bisa ne ma, ombe meeting, discussing the development of this child. They tell Top Africa, say, oh, maybe in 2 weeks' time, no, ye per se, munya ubia or can Ethiopia kasa no, to me can German kasa no so. So there are most cases, no, then we'll ask someone to be representative. It's not just about translating the language, no. It's also about, because Nipanese school system na say, Nipanese because we're one of us, no. Only problems are school no femu. Only problems are parents no femu. So he tries to mediate and find a common bridge between the two. So we do so many other things. If I want to continue, you better check.
Omaya Jumana Moya, how many years in it?
I think we've been here since 2010. Initially, it was more of the media aspect, but along the line, no, people started bringing their problems, and I think the past 8 years or so, no, concentration are more of the social services, the community services.
Osaka bibi about traveling.
Aquaba tours, particular burden, and they serve the people with their ticketing. This internet age, it's a challenge for them. So those of them who want their visa applications, passport issues, they come and they are served. And at the same time, luckily for most of these people, so Top Africa the same burden. And to say, be a can say, or visa problems, ni passport problems are, then it's easier for the woman to say, Desmond, these are some of the challenges we are facing. If you can't find a way and maybe engage the embassy and see how best such problems could be solved. So we do all these things. So it's good for the citizens. Even a necra make us no. Sometimes we don't know. But the officer no back framing from the Berlin and wants to address one of the problems. And to me, the officer no number nankasa ma woman no. And I mean the woman no what problem so number ma officer no. And the officer is going to call the person and solve the problem. So these are some of the things too we do behind the scene.
Baby, Odijina say, I hope I hear me is about Ghana for Ankasabi. You are talking about Ghana embassy, Berlin. Omono de Doma ba for the whole Germany has say any other countries be been right? Almost about 3 countries, but you're limited it to Germany here. The tatiti said the okay, passport the same. Amo visa same any human relations mission honomo any as a community leader mabe any mission so komodi na wona wo ha na omo baha ebe come problems pa bi na waka no say ye ma me ba ko ni problem no obeka ye no wa frɛ eye mission ho mission agene number ama omo be communicate ahwe asolve sa problem no. A DNA normal pa Ghana for the time complaining about the mission.
I think you see the issue we have to look at it from 2 sides. Sometimes and you fair say ube who near Kosovo embassy now who crom for no. The one of the major challenges I've been to Berlin on several occasions. Sometimes the problems never be bria. Then you took up the challenge. Then you go to Berlin yourself. To find out what is actually happening. So, sometimes You go there as a community leader to interact with the leadership and find out what the challenges are. And sometimes you notice, say, well, nkrofo be be omufre calls, nobody picks them up. So I've been to Berlin myself. I went to where the calls are coming, and you notice, say, the number of your population about be very big. So I notice, say, they need more people to be there. What I say, 1 of 7 this huge community is not enough. So the calls will be ringing, and there is only one person there. Offer but could not be bring so boom. So I think they need extra staff to be able to address that particular issue. That is one. And then you see, the population, especially even just in Hamburg, also. So your capacity, maybe the embassy is having the challenges to serve our needs at a given time. So maybe the capacity has to be increased. See a bit more to me as serve more like it used to be. That is also one of the challenges they have there. What I say, human relationship there, we are all different people. It's the way we all handle situations. We are all different. So that one, it depends on the officer in question, what I say. Then the other way around also say, so can be sometimes. Yeah. Unim say passport be wu. And so you need your visa for everything. So why not start on time? Who start on time, probably they could help you. But sometimes we wait till it's too late, then we want our problem to be solved. It makes it quite difficult sometimes. So it's a two-way side, but nevertheless, since we have people who want them to serve us, we expect the best of them. Then another biggest challenge, which be near Bremont, say, for now, Hamburg doesn't have a consulate. Yeah, so they call on one of the old staffs. At any point in time, they go there. If they are not getting help, they come here. So we are hoping maybe with the consular issue being addressed, it could help us a little bit. But for me, that would just be about 50% of solving the problems we have here. Because your population is so big. The welfare issue, the social challenges now be more. So even if they have the consulate, it's only going to be addressed. It will be once they saw Berlin. That might not happen. But problems be so long as they don't have a welfare desk, they don't have anybody who takes care of these things. Problem now, they will run to the community leaders. So one way or the other, I had some discussions with them, the leadership. I was proposing if there could be a way out that they could find a balance of employing some of the community leaders here, system, see a BBC, they'll be able to advise accordingly. But you notice it's not part of the system, but hopefully, if it is done, problem be bad, this officer can easily call the institutions around, the ministries around, and find a way out. And sometimes he understands the problem of the people who can't be able to mini or makasa. Now, Omatia say you should know that the officers are coming and going. But most of us have been here over the ages. So we know some of the challenges and we know how best to address some of these issues. So let's see how best we move forward as a people.
Desmond, one of the pillars I make us Germany office there Hamburg. Na the okai na me the question we beto aso. Or say yen so ye can hobi or can challenges are a machine omo phone telephonist no or horn back up. And I say numbers need increasing all the time. Our community nim it cause a beco almost no a doors no say share sex and no so ye the tossable omoba no mo kono nipa no ba onim situation e wo ha ne ye eti esa na no mebo ho o kan de wo ha ne ntiase eti na de chinye ene ba ne eti no omo no me community leaders omo bia office say no most of the people no ba omo ho no mo ene but how na me person me gina yi challenges na okay bibi say any computer world near one. You know be any computer ni bi wo mo fie. Because computer na si wo na si so obetimi de bi asi ne fie. Me nko fie bebre mu kra na makobe se 10 emu a me no makoye interviews. Obi en ho owo computer si ne fie, owo printer si ne fie. But the phone so ne laptop ne if I say ne iPad ne you know obetimi akọ website no na wakọ akọ de wakọ download and also wakọ fill in the bibia ho but hoso so ne challenge no bebre nim say they answer some of the questions and also so no what can they say.
You see, I don't see it so much of a challenge because even if you American visa, British visa, and yet that easy to fill. Sometimes you need extra know-how to be able to do. And I've gone through the application forms, and sometimes what you say they are just a bit too clumsy, too much. What I say, it could be make a little. I've been to Berlin before. When people bring challenges, I'm somebody I love to serve. Yeah. So I've been attended by them. We have Mr. Adom, was then as the consular. So when they brought it, I went to Berlin. I wrote out what I felt could be done. I was there. They have an IT officer. So we sat down, and I told them this is what maybe if they do could make things a bit easier. It was done. Yeah, but sometimes to more limitations because it comes from others come from Accra. So there are certain things they could change. There are certain things they could not change. So those they could change, they did it. So in a nutshell, when you know the level of your people, sometimes we shouldn't make things too complex. The applications could be a bit more simpler. We have a lot of educated people who also come to this office to be helped because no calculated time or be trust there no or be pay bibi kakra mo be or on daily basis. A better manage on no bet if you are spending 90 minutes. And see of say near me spending 90 minutes no minko po be or on daily basis. Now me pay bibi kakra man now solving my problem no. So these are some of the things we could look at.
It's this one. How to say a coffee be case. Said all kinds of ultimate call a Berlin mission honomo ambassador no crack or discuss their problems their need. Between the alcohol in the Kudis and Commona. A bin margin say, oh, officer will be you are conniving with the mission. Said the bear 10 beyond Bebam officer say. Now, my Joe Mubibi. It's a monomotive no more yakra or muntimin yet. Yes, a choke who will be answered. What is asking me? I can say
we are in Europe. We should be above such thinking. What you say, no. If educate the Germans live on know-how. So if you have your limitations, don't be blaming other people. Out of free will, I think what is good for me is good for our people. So we do those things just to make sure the people are sorted out, what you say. And then there is nothing, even if you go to the consulate, people are going to help you. You must not necessarily come here. You can go to any other places. And even more especially, if you are capable of doing those things, you wouldn't need assistance of anyone. So these are things we should just ignore.
Sisiwa answer, we say, and your force of Baba ho. And the Buena computer ni bi wo ho betima to ofie wa okutafo betima fele wa de ho na wo challenges na se obeba obi ho na obeju ska na olidi udi wakwa and the Kenya bone it you all answer sad way ya de samba bio ni say print out no bebre kodru ho na say embassy ni kasa omom print ade na out omom so say omom fele ade no online e ka ade no ka enko ne sa e no be kan say.
See I think the challenge is that like I say, sometimes we need to be occasionally organizing some sort of seminars for our people. Form now quite two-sided. Who feel it from we are? Something my feeling from we no, it has to be printed out. Then some also don't know. Say my feeling forms I have to go to where to book appointment. And to be also, we are not wapim. You see, so it also needs more education from the embassies and more education from the community leadership. But there is also the other side of it. Sometimes the embassies make the effort to come and meet their people. But sometimes attendance is not that encouraging. So these are some of the challenges. Perhaps they might also want to, have a sort of information for their people. But there too, I notice sometimes, employee, what I say. So we should stop these blame games and see how best we can move on as a people. That is the best thing I would say.
That's a community services embassies no try say amodebeboa Ghanaians na omo ha say no na omoba community ni so no omoba ba yeso a ebinum nam say adentina embassy ni ntina ne ho no ano onye nkofo a oba abonti abaye omo no ombagigi omuska as a community leaders no e ye money omo and so be can say
that is absolute. We should put those things aside and be a little bit more serious. Traveling, just imagine the number of people who travels to Berlin every time. And we live in Hamburg. Hamburg, you can say, is the capital of the Ghanaian community in Germany. The majority of the Ghanaians live around these areas. So, move to find the Biako Berlin. Not Berlin, say Obama. Why not happy about it? You see, we should be very frank about our discussions. Because most often, we should also stop this free mentality. Say, embassy need Baha, they need a lot of people to assist them. The embassy staff, of course, will be paid. But Ubinja Nejuma, 3 days, Okobua embassy for so that they will be able to serve the community. And you more contributing. Now, you 10 or be now you demand for no mokobua. I don't think if you are traveling to Berlin, you spend a whole day. You spend a lot of money. And be a call now contribute 5 or 10 or be see uncle for na beba embassy staff no. You find support to Monsu Kakra because uncle you might be here 3 days. That money might not even be able to pay him. But at least no onoso benya bibi kakra kufi. Say be onoso be ko afro shop edijwa kakra. So we should be very realistic about how we do our things.
Jembra a passport no sembio. Binimusu omo passport no omo postu a self address stamped ne bibia a share envelope no de kwa. Yes bia within 10 days time ebeba. Obo ho betima tro ho no 2 weeks na mai. Obe fresh wonya o call so omo so ya post and say o de ebesa de abro ne sa communication is so it is saying
it is something we've witnessed on several occasions. So and be anya nipa ba ko bi and anya sa problem no. I can't tell how the system they use in their offices there. Minim they will mashishe niamano. Maybe weekly these are things we've done or more express or more niamani bibi. Ta minim they will arranging niamano. And I cannot also tell about the competence of the people who are in charge of such services. So we've been experiencing it. And I think the embassies are aware, and I'm going to believe that since complaints are coming all the time, they are also going to see how best those things can be addressed in the near future.
Now, Desmond, at the end of the Casano, Ghana for what I say, is it more common in the Bisu Chimo sign any sa and no so if he never.
I think those things are never going to end. It is in every society. Right. Society biobe komuno. You won't go far. They will push you back or they will draw you back. I think, but who you be as any person goes for anyone, Oko be no vision be, who will mission be a Shankofona, they buy into your vision, they see your mission, they will see where you want to get to. Use your energy and work with those people. Because when we get distracted or progress, so don't pay so much attention to the negativity around what you do, but rather those who are prepared to move with you. And even there to know the objective ones, even those who criticize you constructively, objectively, to your move, what you can address, take it and move on. So negativity is something you should not pay so much attention. It would only distract your progress.
Biba me who say Turkish for ne Pakistan for mo krum ha. Omo timiye no makwa nimu uhu eye ebusua sem ewo mu anameka say ebusua community ni wo mu say ye kra de tima ya kwenya community hall aye timiye bibia wo ho ne buba krum ha che die pa ne akwasidi ama Ghana for mu ntimi nya mo community hall enfanye say okay ye betimi afre ye nyina akọ na ebia embassy for na ba address ye and now obi free e ba address ye say me ba ye me pe hall kra na ka metima ba ho na minimum be kan de ekoso ofie nyina e de ne simo kwan.
You see, most often no you share development e binu ba ha ja binu mo and binu mo so omo hierarchy ni e better chen binu mo nkofo no bibi no omo communities are say leader necessary they try to do it omoko na mko pima no mo say dey ni anya ni yi then they correct it, then they move on. Unfortunately, it is obia your boss, obia your neonope. So most often it's difficult for us to come together. But nevertheless, no, we've also made some progress. One cannot say ye ba ni shui. At least uba and we've welcomed you. What you say? So, but just that the pace is not as fast as the others. So yes, you know, we'll see where we are not doing well and see how we can correct some of these things and move on. Some of these people, my generation now, so into the new leadership, they have a better understanding how structured, how organized German is, and then they take up this leadership. I think what we are talking about, let's say in the next 30, 40 years, our community might also be there. So let us exercise patience. The most important thing is knowing that we also have to progress above the level at which we are. Some years back, to me, when I came to the office here, about 2010, I was running this office alone. Because electricity bill, but for some time, you have others have joined, and we are moving. And it just say yes, you're beginning to understand the system. Say, so we are also coming, and I'm sure the generation after us will be able to do some of these things better than us.
Generation after us will come and do something better than what we have done.